Hi, fourth graders, it's Mrs. Moser, and I am here to walk you through an example of how you can approach your book celebration project this week. You have a lot of choices for that project. You can either recreate a book cover, and there's a variety of ways you could do that, or you could recreate an image of a favorite character from a book. So I am going to show you how my twin fourth graders, I have two fourth graders at home, approached this project. They did slightly different options for their project. The first couple of things you need to think about. You first need to select a book. So we spent some time looking through our bookshelves, looking at book covers, noticing ones that we really liked, thinking about books that we liked, characters that were special to us, and we chose books that were meaningful. So the first step is choose a book. Second step is to think about details on the book cover that stand out to you, that seem really helpful in recreating, or details that you know about the character. So I'm going to have my twins right now share with you how they approached those two steps. So I'm going to start with Ellie.
So I picked Invisible Emmy because it was one of my favorites, and I thought it would be fun to recreate the book cover. And yeah, because there's paper in front of her. She's kind of shy, and she always looks down. She doesn't have much friends, and she is just a quiet person, and so she just put this paper over her head, crossing her legs, sitting on her desk. So I drew a sketch of that, and a sketch of me, because she drew a sketch of her, and I crossed my legs and I sat on a desk, and and so you will see that at the end.
And here's Ben, and he's sharing
Who is Michael Jordan by Kristen Anderson. I chose this book because I like Michael Jordan. I love the Who Is and Who Was series. I love Space Jam, and yeah.
And you also, yes, did you just say love Space Jam? One of his favorite movies is Space Jam that Michael Jordan stars in. And what are some features that you noticed on the cover of the book that stood out to you?
The background, of course, the billboards, the crowd, the basketball hoop, the fat head.
But that's a common feature for the Who Is books, right? The oversized head.
And the small body.
Yeah.
And the core.
Okay. And so when you went to recreate yours, you thought about those details.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next step in the process is to think about how you're going to recreate your book cover. And so Ellie decided that she actually wanted to pose herself in an image similar to the book cover. So before she did that, she drew a sketch of her face, kind of like the main character did here. Ben decided he wanted to draw a drawing that recreated his book cover. So he thought about those details that he mentioned before, and he tried to kind of do similar details in his drawing. Hi, fourth graders. So I'm going to show you the last step in the process, which is the finished product and how we did this. So Ben went into his Google slideshow that will be in your remote learning Google Classroom, and he completed the slide template. So he put the title of the book here, the author, and then he did a Google image search for the original cover of his book and put that picture there. And then on the other side, we put a copy of the picture that he drew. Now, if you remember, the picture he originally drew didn't have the title at the top, so we used some text boxes to put those on the slide. We looked at the fonts that were here and tried to get some similar fonts there. And you can kind of see the comparison of the two book covers there. Ellie did something a little bit different. She took a photograph of herself posed in a similar position as the cover of Invisible Emmy. So if you remember, she showed she had drawn a sketch of her face and then sat at a desk like Emmy did on the cover of the book and had her face covered and her feet up. And we played around with some features on our computer to make this background kind of disappear, and used it to replace it in a bluish purple color like the original book did. You certainly don't have to do anything like that, but we were just playing around with some different tools. And then again, for the title, we inserted some text boxes for the title and the author and tried to have similar colors and fonts that the original author did. Finally, down the bottom, there's a place for you to put your own name on your slide. So they took, as you can see, different approaches to how they could do their book cover recreations, but they both came out pretty cool, especially when you compare them with the original cover. So just to go over again, the steps we went through, we first chose a book. We second noticed some details about the book cover, or if you chose to do a character, about the character that you wanted to make sure to convey. Then we decided what format we wanted to recreate the image as. And then we put everything into our Google slide. So I look forward to seeing how your creativity comes through in this project this week. And hopefully we'll have an opportunity to share with other fourth graders.